Welcome back to, and thanks so much for joining us here on America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker and Dave Ross. ARHQ.com is the website. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. What happens to your 401ks when people retire? Well, according to a recent study by Vanguard, within 5 years, half of the people, a little over half, roll over the money into their own IRA. Another third cash them out. Only 17% stay in the plan. So how are they doing here? What are the ups and downs of keeping your money with your current 401k provider while in retirement?
There are a couple of different options of people when they retire on what to do with their 401k. Number one is to leave it in their 401k. Maybe if they're changing jobs, they're going to maybe more of a part-time. They could transfer it over to the new company 401k. They could take number three and they could cash out the 401k. Or number four is mentioned there, about half of them ultimately convert and roll that over into their own IRA. When you look at it, I think there's pros and cons to each of those options. When you look at a 401k, depending upon the size of the 401k company, in some of the 401ks that are out there for people that like to either manage their own money or people that are comfortable with their options, you could end up in a situation where you have lower fees. A lot of the times, even our firm, has assets under management type fees. Some of the fees and expenses can be lower by leaving the money in the 401k plan. Some of the plans have what's called a self-directed brokerage options that allows you to maybe pick out some individual choices if they don't have some of the plan choices that you're comfortable with. Leaving your money in your plan can help you with also creditor protection. I've seen people in situations, one of the examples there was people cashing out their plan. And, I don't know necessarily in that survey the reason why, but if they were, cashing out their plan to pay off a creditor, it might have been better off to take advantage of some of the ERISA protection in the 401k by leaving that money in the retirement account and not cashing it out. Of course, you get some benefits where you're not forced to take required minimum distributions in a 401k, especially if you continue working past the age 73. You may delay some of those required minimum distributions until you fully retire. Some of the plan-specific details that are out there, they might have some advantages to financial planning services, retirement income tools, low-cost loans if you're still working there. In most IRAs, you're not going to have the ability where you can take out a loan against an IRA. Again, some of the ease of management, you might be familiar with that platform. Maybe you've had that same platform of managing your money, for quite some time. And again, you're looking for ways to continue to grow that money. Taking the money and cashing it out, which is what some of the people had done in that survey, it said about a third of those people cashed them out. I generally think that's usually a terrible idea. The reason being is you get all of that money paid out in 1 year in a large tax. And so if you're thinking about, blowing your retirement account, cashing it out can be an absolute way to do that. The other, roughly half of the people, so 52% in this survey, rolled over the money into an IRA. The advantage of the IRA is it allows you to have a completely customized plan. There's going to be different investment choices and options in an IRA that you don't traditionally have in most 401ks. An example that I would say is, we talk a lot about people wanting to have reliable income in retirement. And when we think about reliable income, we think about pensions, we think about Social Securities, but annuities for hundreds of years have been a vehicle utilized to provide reliable income, and most 401ks don't have an annuity option available. Taking some of that money and moving it to like a self-directed IRA could open up those options. Your plan maybe doesn't allow for your ability to look at self-directed investments and buying like individual stocks. We have a very defined investment methodology and philosophy when it comes to picking stocks within a portfolio. And most 401ks in the marketplace don't allow the plan participant, aka the account owner, to go and purchase individual holdings on what they want to have within the portfolio. you can, again, create a spectrum of different investments. You can buy things that are designed to give you a future pay raise. You can get involved in some of the alternatives that are become more popular, like cryptocurrency. If you wanted to have, a small percentage of your portfolio in something that you thought was going to really be a big and change in the future, adding that in there as well. So the IRA is going to ultimately give the individual retirement account owner more control over their choices. But again, you just got to weigh the different pros and cons is what I would tell people.
I'll look at this in a little different view. So over 23 years doing this, I've had a lot of discussions. I've had countless discussions with people who are working and participating in their company's 401k. And I remember asking almost all of them, how did you come to pick the investments that you have in your 401k? And they said, well, I printed off the laundry list of funds that the plan offered, and I looked at which ones did the best, and that's where I placed my money. Well, in a way, those folks were chasing returns. Mm-hmm. So just because it was good in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good for the foreseeable future. When a person is considering whether to leave money in the plan or create a rollover account, I guess the thing I would say is, do you want a finite list of funds, or do you want to have basically an open scenario where you can pick if you want stocks, if you want bond? You actually have a greater universe of investments to choose from when you create the private IRA. Yes, if you hire a financial advisor, there will be fees and costs that get associated with that. But with that, you're also getting planning services. You have a live voice that you can talk to when you pick up the phone and call them. You have ongoing reviews. You have all of the advantages that should give you peace of mind in retirement. And so I firmly believe that you should take a look at all of these options. And I think if you take a real objective look at it, you're going to find that by hiring a financial professional, or specifically hiring America's Retirement Headquarters to help you in crafting your investment strategy and your retirement planning, you're going to find you have a lot more peace of mind knowing that you are being looked after and you are being cared for.
I've recently heard a 401k be equated to, you're in a supermarket and you go shopping, but with the 401k, you've got access to one shelf on one particular aisle. The rest of it is kind of off limits. That is where you get limited with the selections that you have. Now, as you get closer and closer towards retirement, if you have the options of a self-directed IRA or things like that, suddenly the whole store is available to you. Could be daunting, could be intimidating. Perhaps you still like the stuff that's on that aisle. That is okay. But knowing what your options are, being able to explore them, I think is worth taking a look at. And that is something that the team at America's Retirement Headquarters can help you with. Your own personal shoppers, I guess, in that regard. But it all starts with setting up a time to speak with them, whether it is attending events that they've got going on. You can go to arhq.com, click on the events tab for that, find out more about the team. Or set up a time, skip the line, and come in and speak with them directly. Give a call, 419-794-3030. Once again, that's 419-794-3030. As always, want to thank you for joining us here on the show, spending time with us here on America's Retirement Headquarters. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. Gentlemen, always grateful for the time. Hope you have a great week ahead as well. And as we wrap up, I do want to leave you with the final word.
As always, just when you think retirement, think America's Retirement Headquarters. It's home of the Retirement Guys formula and America's Medicare Associates.